Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today's video I'm going to share with you how I budget. I'm not actually going to show you my budget this time around because it seems like everybody's budget is different and everybody budgets in a different way. I'm just going to share with you 10 things that I do that actually help me create my budget. So I'm going to apologize for the lighting right now. It's raining outside, so the lighting sucks and yeah. So let's just get started, and if you have not done already, hit the red subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up if you like budgeting videos, because I do a lot of budgeting and planning and a lot of other content. Okay, so let's get started. Number one is determine all the expenses that you have. So what I do at the beginning of every year, and I do this yearly because I know what comes out every month, and then I know what comes out every year. Like, I have my Prime, and then I have my FabFitFun box, and I have a few other things, and I pay for those yearly. And then I have the stuff that I pay like every 6 months and all the way down. So I have all my expenses wrote out, and I just write it in I use a legal pad for my budget. I just like to budget that way, so yes. And then the next thing is determine how much you want to spend in certain categories. Like, I set out a grocery budget per month. I set out like how much I want to spend on gas every month, and so on and so forth on down the list. And if you want to see how I budgeted last year, because I'm budgeting this year the way I did last year, when it comes to that, was I'll share my how I budgeted last year if you actually want to see it on paper, if that makes it easier for you. And you also have to keep in mind, I'm just budgeting for me. I'm not budgeting for a family. I don't have children. It's just me, and I have my cat. So that's kind of why my budget looks completely different than most people's. Okay, number 3 is develop saving strategies. Like, come up with how you want to save money. Like, I know some people do I pay myself first, I take 10% of my paycheck every week, bi-weekly, however often you get paid, and I put that in my savings. Well, I can't do that. So every year I create how I'm going to save. So last year I did the 52-week savings challenge. This year what I'm doing is I set a certain amount of money that I kind of want to stick to in a month, and anything I have left over from that gets put into my savings account. And that's kind of what works for me. And of course, for saving strategies, there's ideas on Pinterest, there's ideas pretty much everywhere on the internet. Number 4 is have an emergency account. For me, I have $1,000 that's in my bank account. It cannot be, and I can't touch it. I've set a limit where if that account cannot go below $1,000. And of course, everybody's emergency account would be different. Some people choose to do 1,000, some people choose to do 2,000. I know a friend whose emergency account is $300, and that's what works. But either put it in a separate bank account or set it to where you cannot touch it. And for me, I just keep it all in one bank account. It's easier for me because my bank makes it a pain in the ass to transfer to other banks. Okay, so number 5 is determine how much money you have coming in. Like, I like the idea of, I sit down at the beginning of the month and I come up with, okay, this week I should have, let's say, $500 coming in, and then I end up making like $600. Okay, well then I got $100 extra, and then so far on down the list, I put what I expect to make every week and what I expect to have come in, and then if I put more, make more or less, then adjust accordingly. But if you determine how much you have coming in, that kind of helps you determine how much you can spend in each category. And I just kind of wrote these down. They're not in any specific order. And number 6 is develop a plan to pay off debt. For me, what it is I know what debts I have, and I know how much I can afford to pay a month, and I know what the minimum payment is a month, and that's what I've done. I know what I owe, and I've kind of done it the way Dave Ramsey says to do it. I do the snowball thing, I think that's what it's called. I don't follow Dave Ramsey. It just doesn't work for me. So, but I do have, like, it's set out on how I'm planning on paying off the debt. Number 7 is find what cuts you can make in your budget. Like, what can you cut out? So can you cut out eating out? You can't cut out eating out. Can you cut out, like, some form of entertainment? Like, do you go to the movies a lot? Well, cut that out if you can. And I know a lot of people just cut out vacations, and sometimes that's the easiest way to do it. For me, I've wanted to cut out eating out, but I've cut it down to 1 day a week. But it's kind of hard for me to cut out eating out when my job, every now and then we do go out to eat for it. So yeah, so I've had to make other cuts in my budget. Number 8 is find ways to make extra money. Like, for me, I use ThredUp and I sell my clothes. If I don't wear them anymore and I can possibly sell them, I sell them there. I've made a pretty good profit the last time that I've sold clothes on there. So yes, find ways to make extra money. Of course, you don't have to do that. If you want to babysit, if you want to take care of other people's animals and all that stuff, find a way to make extra money. And that money can be either put directly into your savings or used to pay bills or pay off debt or whatever you want to use. But if you're going to make extra money, don't use display money if you don't have an emergency account. That's my biggest thing. Create your emergency account first. That's what last year's savings strategy was for me, was to create my emergency account. Okay, number 9 is go over bank accounts, credit cards, pretty much any way you use to manage your money. Go over that at least once a day, because the way things work, you can lose money in a second anymore and not even realize it. So I make sure that at least once a day I sit down and I go over my budget and I make sure I don't have anything extra coming in or going out, and stuff that I didn't plan for or stuff that I didn't even purchase. Because that happened to me in December of last year. I was doing so good and my bank account got froze, but they never told me they froze it. That I never saw any fraudulent charge. I didn't know my bank account was frozen until I tried to use my credit card, use my bank card, and I couldn't. But make sure you go over your bank statements and your credit cards and all that every day, or at least once a week, because I like every day. It's just, that works for me. And after what happened in December, I'm trying to be a little bit more cautious. Number 10, and this is a little bit weird for most people, because I know a lot of people don't carry cash. I carry cash now because of my job, and I have to pay cash for lunch because I'm a firefighter. We pay out so much every day, and that's how we pay for lunch. So not when we go out, but in the house. So yes. So if you like the idea of using cash, go right ahead. So that's what I do. I use cash when I can, specifically for work-related expenses. And then I'll use it every now and then, like at Walmart or Kroger or something, if I have the cash. But usually if I have cash, I'm saving it for work. And I know some people like to use cash, and Dave Ramsey says to use cash, but it doesn't work for me, so I just use my debit card. So that's the 10 ways I budget and the 10 tips and all that stuff I use to actually create my budget. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you did not do so at the beginning of the video, hit the red subscribe button down below. And other than that, thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.